So I want to tell you the story of the premiere of the opera Salome in Graz, Austria. So Salome had actually had its world premiere in Dresden about 5 months earlier and had been met with a lot of praise, but also a lot of criticism. It was a highly controversial opera. It was written by Strauss, and it was based on the biblical story of Salome. Its kind of risqueness and its sexiness had not really had justice done to them until Oscar Wilde's play about Salome, which Strauss's opera was based on. Oscar Wilde was already a really controversial figure in kind of European literary circles. He had at this point already been jailed for his homosexuality. He was sort of an asshole. So this opera came to Graz, which was a smaller town than Dresden, and it drew a lot of attention. A lot of important people wanted to turn out to see this premiere. Schoenberg came. He brought like 6 of his pupils. Puccini, the great composer who wrote Madame Butterfly, wrote Tosca, he came. Gustav Mahler, who was the director of the Vienna Opera, the widow of Johann Strauss, another composer. Hitler was there. Hitler later in his life claimed he had been there for the Graz premiere of the opera, claimed he had borrowed money from relatives just to come see this opera. This rumor, it's kind of unsubstantiated, this story, but it's plausible. Strauss arrived in Graz the day of the premiere and went out and had dinner with Gustav Mahler, a good friend of his. Anytime one of them would become part of another program, become part of another organization, they'd always support each other's work. And Mahler was really interested in this premiere, was really excited to kind of see what came of this opera, and he hadn't yet seen it. It was controversial and it was difficult material, and he could tell that Strauss was nervous too. He even offered to go conduct for him if he didn't feel up to it. So this opera begins. And at the beginning of the opera, Salome kind of comes slithering out. So the story of Salome is this princess, and she's spoiled, and she's sexy, and she's extremely erotic. She begins by trying to seduce one guy. He'll have none of it. He wants none of it. Next, we're kind of introduced to Herod. Herod, legendary biblical King Herod. And he's a weird dude. Just a little bit unsavory himself. We learn quickly that kind of Salome's main endgame is she is really infatuated with John the Baptist, who at this point is prisoner to King Herod, and she wants to seduce John the Baptist, and he'll have none of it. He's John the Baptist. Because she can't have him as a lover, she's like, well, if I can't have you, I want you dead. As the opera goes on, she seduces Herod in order to convince him to carry out this execution, to bring her the head of John the Baptist. That's the end game. She just wants the head of John the Baptist, and does this very strange, seductive striptease dance for Herod, the Dance of the Seven Veils. And as he's watching this opera, Mahler's a little disappointed by how kind of kitschy this dance comes off. And it's like, well, it's very oriental, it's very sort of like traditional sexy, it's kind of weird, and isn't really into it. Like, Strauss, you could have done better, man. You're smarter than this. You're all about kind of not realizing standard expectations. Herod sort of, loses his nerve and is like, no, I don't think we should execute this guy. What if he is really a prophet? What if he is really this important, man of God? And Salome will have none of it. And so Herod, he keeps his word. He executes John the Baptist and brings his head to Salome. And then here's where the opera gets really weird. Salome has this kind of horrible, beautiful moment with the head of John the Baptist, which is presented to her on a silver platter. And she kisses this head. It's like fantastic, because you're appalled, you're disgusted, you're horrified. It's necrophilic. But it's kind of lovely, and it's kind of heartbreaking. But Herod sees it too and isn't really like, oh, that's kind of touching. It's like, kill that bitch. and she's dragged off stage and she is killed, and the music gets just has the most jarring moments of all. The audience lost their minds, and it was fantastic, and they had a standing ovation that lasted for probably 10 minutes, and it became this smashing success all across Austria, all across Europe. And that's the story of the May 16th, 1906 premiere of Salome in Graz, Austria.